Today, let's have a look at the Fortified Sanctuary that you guys helped me build on my live stream yesterday. I'm going to talk about what we've done and what we're going to do. What's up guys, Dark Dally here, and today I am back at my sanctuary settlement, which you may have seen in my live stream yesterday. Most of this was built during the live stream. Now if you didn't catch it, I'm here to give you a tour of everything that we've built here, and even if you did watch the live stream, maybe you only saw part of it and you didn't get a proper tour of the whole place. So let me show you what I'm doing here in this version of Sanctuary. My idea here was to, instead of building new buildings, which I did a little bit to connect, but mostly what I did was, the idea behind this was to take the buildings that were already here and fortify them with the kind of materials that would have been salvaged from here. Now I know that these blue and orange warehouse pieces don't exactly fit what was salvaged here, but we'll just give that one a pass. So what I've done is basically, okay, so I took the starting building here where your main workbenches appear, and I've used some of the pieces that the Soul Survivor would have scavenged from the ruined buildings and kind of enclosed it and extended it. I've fortified some of the other buildings, which I will show you, and then we've got this kind of connected here. Now let me show you what this part here is all about. This is the I guess this is kind of the main house, because this is where your workbenches appear, and I've kind of made it the main place for the original 5 settlers that you briefly conquered. And what I've done is I've gone through here and I really kept settlement defense in mind, because now I'm not running immersive gameplay anymore, but I am still running the large raids portion of it. So the raids I get are massive. And I love having big, massive raids. It gives me something fun to do. It gives me something to defend against and a real purpose when designing settlements. So what I've done is I've gone through and fortified everything. This is all bulletproof glass in these windows. Can't, shoot through it. It's what this is the Vault-Tec windows. And all of these clear windows are Vault-Tec windows, which I've used the Place Anywhere mod to put in place. So you're completely safe in here. Okay, that window's already blocked off. And then there's at least one window in each house that you actually can shoot out of. This way, if there is a raid, I do have, a point I can fire through. And of course they can fire through too, so that's why there's only one window in each house like this. So you can take cover, and during a raid you can fire. So that's the basic tour of this building here. It's not finished. None of this is finished, by the way. This is merely the work that was done in the 4 hours that I did the live stream yesterday. Some of this was already done before the live stream, but now all the doors I have wired up with my logic gates so that they open or close from either side, like so. You've seen these switches before. They're pretty common. Here I used, okay, I only got 2 turrets. I'm fine. With that, I usually run a little lower defense because I don't mind getting raided. I like getting raided, so. But I do have 2 turrets, placed here with the little Covenant turret mounts. I think those look pretty cool. Again, I used Place Anywhere to get those there. So what this is a hallway that leads to this building, which I'm building on this empty foundation where I scrapped that house. This building as of yet is kind of, this is still in flux. This is still being built, so we're not real sure what we're doing with this just yet. Now the purpose of this bridge is to connect this starting yellow house over to the Soul Survivors, pre-war home. And that's where my main workshop and everything, I have moved everything over there, and that's my main base. And I wanted a bridge. It's not real protected, but the hallway to each house is, and will be when it's finished. So, during a raid, you can expose yourself enough to run down here if you need to swap into a different house for whatever reason. So down here, this is the Soul Survivors' former pre-war home. I'm sure you recognize it. Now, of course, this will be closed off when this is done. After 4 hours of building live online yesterday, I had to log off, and I just didn't get this finished. We'll get to this. Here I have another same kind of door switch arrangement, and I've moved all the workshop and everything into here. Now this is just as fortified as the other house. This has 2 firing points. through right here, and this is open and closable via this little shutter. Well, it's a door, but you know, it's in this purpose I've used it for here. It's basically, you know, a powered window shutter, so that you can close it if you are getting attacked, if you need to use any of these workbenches. More bulletproof windows here. This is, you can't shoot through this by default. You know, this is one of those blank holes in the house that you can see through, but you can't shoot through it, so I just put fencing over it. The other firing point here is through Sean's old room, right here. So there are often, during raids, there are enemies that will be spawning back here and stuff, so I figured this is a good firing point. It doesn't allow them to fire into a large, you know, area inside the house, but allows you to fire out. More bulletproof windows. And then the bedroom has been completely fortified and protected. If you did have a large raid on the place, this would be a fun place to watch the action from if you want to let your settlers take care of it, because all these windows are also, of course, bulletproof. And, you know, they shouldn't be able to even see through these windows. So if you did get attacked, the raiders would just ignore you. You could just stand here and just watch the action. From my experience, bulletproof windows are, to the NPCs, appear simply as walls. They can't see through them, so you could just stand here and watch. But anyway, this is, geez, June. Damn, man. This is, yeah, there's a lot of work left to be done here. Now, in here, I got two switches here. This is for the door, which I've used, again, place anywhere to line these doors up. Well, this is the front door here. It still needs a switch wire to it. I've used place anywhere to line these doors up so they fit perfectly over the original existing doorways. And then over here we have my settlement lockdown switch, and I'll show you what that does. This is something I showed in a previous video not too long ago at my junkyard defense settlement at Starlight Drive-In, where I showed how to make an automatic lockdown security, where if the alarm goes off, it automatically locks down this switch, or you can hit the switch yourself and lock down the settlement. Now, what exactly does this lock down? I will show you. You probably already know if you've seen my previous videos. Little bridge here. We just go under this. I've got the resources for the settlement are in two buildings. This building here is for power and water. And just kind of thrown in here. I put some water pumps and then temporarily just stuck these generators back here. And now all these windows are all completely blocked off. This house is completely blocked off because raiders will always go for your resources. So let's go ahead and close this back up. So I make sure that there's no way anyone can fire into it from outside by simply boarding everything up. Again, I use a place anywhere mod to put the wooden walls over the windows. Now this building over here, this house, is where the crops are. Now I've also boarded everything up here, and so I figured the crops need some light, you know, so I did kind of like a little grow room kind of deal, you know, with all the UV lights. And again, this is still, you know, in progress here. I just planted the potatoes that I had on me at the time. And, you know, this also has the working door you can open and close, of course. And this is where the settlement lockdown goes to, because this building is kind of far away from everything else. Hitting that switch that I showed you in there locks down this building. The same with if the alarm were to go off. I'll show you where the alarm's at. The settlement raid alarm is over here. And of course, in the event of a raid, if there's a settler nearby, they will run by, they will hit this switch. So that way, if I'm not near my lockdown switch over there, say I'm stuck in this building here or something, you know, a settler will run over. They'll hit this switch, and that'll throw that switch over there for me, which will lock down the generator room and the crops, you know, just in case they left those open. Basically what it does is these switches here work these houses, and the overall the lockdown switch, what it does is it simply just cuts power to this building. So no matter what position this switch is in, that just cuts power, and it will cause the door to close. Again, you know, I went over that in the previous video, and I'd be happy to show how the alarm system is designed again. It's not a problem. I'm really loving this bridge. Some of you guys helped me with ideas to build it. I knew I wanted a bridge to go from this side across the street to over here. I wasn't quite sure how I wanted it. So I do want to thank the viewers who tuned into the live stream, who helped me come up with the idea of using the ball track supports for the bridge. Now, that's not a new idea. I've seen other builders do that in their videos, but the way I've used it here is a little bit different. I used the Place Anywhere mod to put the ball tracks up there, and I decided to use these that had the supports, and then use these supports just to give it looks a little more load-bearing. I also used Place Anywhere to get these fences up here. I wanted, the bridge looked a little weak when I first put it up there. So I put these wires up here. These wires are not actually carrying electricity. They're just there to add some support to the building and make it look just a little more sturdy. And I think they kind of accomplished that, even though they're just little spindly wires. And I wanted to strengthen it even more, so I decided to put these fences up here. Well, I ran into a bit of a problem. If you've used Place Anywhere, then you know that the primary tool of Place Anywhere is this fence post right here. Well, as it happens, this fence post, the item this is made from, is made to snap to those fences. So when you're using Place Anywhere, and if the author of the mod is listening to this is a small problem. If you want to use Place Anywhere on these fences, you're going to have problems because they will try to snap into place because the pole you're using to move them will want to snap. It's a real pain in the butt. It's the only piece I've had problems with Place Anywhere. But unfortunately for me and this structure here, it's the only fence that really looks good right there. So the way I did get those up there is I used the 2-fence piece and just moved it as one thing up there and then deleted the pole in the middle. So guys, this is my, it's work in progress. I'm not 100% sure when the next live stream will be. And I'm also not sure if during the next live stream I will be continuing working here. But I will be continuing working here on my own time, and I will upload updates to this, and, because there's still more ideas that you guys gave me while we were building this, and I want to take time to implement those and show, so I will be sure to keep you guys updated as to what goes on here. And I haven't been rated yet here, but when I actually do get rated, I will be sure to note how everything works. This should be really fun to defend, because it's so fortified, and yet I like the aesthetic. It's not too junky. It's kind of just, taking what Sanctuary was and making it a little better. Alright guys, thanks so much for tuning in. It's been a real pleasure. If you did like this video, then why not subscribe and keep up to date with all the things that we're doing at our settlements, the ideas I get from you guys, the things that we build, and it's been real fun. So, alright guys, my name is Dark Dally. I will catch you all next time.